welcome back to Sunny Healing. How are you guys doing? I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for your comment on my last video. When I spoke about psychic attacks, many of you have requested this subject. So today's topic is going to be about how do you transmute darkness into light? So it's a very interesting subject for me. It is so useful for you and for the huge collective that is surrounding you, because whatever work you're doing yourself, you're always also connecting that to everybody who is around you, whether you do actively something to help others, or even if you're just being there just by your presence. Whenever you transmute darkness into light, you're also helping people around you. So it's not just an individual endeavor, it's for everyone around you. So how do you do that? So the first thing I want to talk to you about is something we call the emotional scale. It's not by me. It's something that has been coined by Abraham Hicks. She speaks about that. It's a scale of different emotions. The ones that are very high is joy, happiness, and then the lower you get, the more negative and dense the energy is. He speaks about going onto this emotional scale, and the main goal there is to go to the next level. So I want to really focus on that. So first of all, I'm going to leave it here. Can you see the picture? This is the picture of the emotional scale, and you can look it up. It's a really interesting subject. The first thing you need to realize is you need to be aware in which emotional state you're at. When we're talking about darkness, I always talk about dark feelings, dark traumas, dark emotions, or even things that you feel are dark attacks on yourself. You need to realize what is the emotion associated with that. Do you feel angry? Do you feel bored? Do you feel sad? How does this make you feel? The more you are aware of your current emotion around it, the easier it's going to be for you to go up the emotional scale. You have to go from the heavy emotion to the one that is higher. Okay, so for example, if you feel angry, you are aiming to become doubtful or worried. If you feel worried, you should be aiming to become content or even bored. How do you do that? How do you increase your emotion? There are multiple ways. For example, if you're feeling angry, you can channel that anger. You can actually go and do a very active sport, for example, and that's going to take you to a higher state. You're going to feel a little bit better. Okay, and that's the aim. You're not aiming for joy, happiness, and like very high emotions. You're aiming to the next level. And that's absolutely the aim here. So this is the first step. The other way you can do this to increase your emotional state is to do some shadow work. I would highly suggest you can start, for example, just looking at your limiting beliefs. What do you believe is sabotaging you and blocking you from going from one state to another? You can write down those things and then try to do that. So if I can actually identify the things that are blocking that jump, I write them down and then find ways to manifest that jump. And it's not that hard, actually. When you realize that the jump is not too bad, it's not that hard. So you're already on that higher level. So this is one way to transmute darkness into light, because you are in a lighter energy, a lighter vibration. You have used that darkness to improve your life, to lighten up. And in that sense, you have used the powerful energy of darkness, because it is powerful. And instead of trying to return it to the sender, or instead of like getting frustrated or irritated with it, you've used it to improve your own state of being, especially your emotional state. And when your emotional state of being is better, your manifestations can come faster, because the higher you are on that emotion scale of Abraham Hicks, the easier it is for you to attract what you want, right? So that's number one. The second way you can transmute darkness into light is by processing the emotion that has been trapped in your body. So emotion get trapped in our body when we go through a specific situation or trauma. That emotion will get triggered in specific situations in our life. So let's say you've gone through a time where you felt abandoned by one of your parents when you were a child. That emotion got trapped somewhere. okay, somewhere in your body. But the truth is, it only shows up once you start feeling that. It gets triggered. Even as an adult, if you haven't worked through it, it gets triggered and you don't know why you feel like you're getting abandoned. So your reaction becomes angry, sadness, etc. Those triggers, they can be triggered by psychic attacks in some cases, for example. They can be triggered by circumstances in life. It doesn't really matter, but it puts you in a state of darkness. You are lower in those emotional scales. Then you don't even know necessarily. You may be like, it's a subconscious trauma, subconscious fear. You can't even like voice it. If someone would ask you, why are you doing this? You don't know why, but it's triggered. Once that is triggered, you are responding to that trauma. So that's why you're absorbing darkness around that time. So in that state, it's really important to process that emotion. Very important. So one way to do that is somatic exercise. Somatic exercises are actually putting you in a state, putting your body, your physical body, in this can relive the the physicality of the emotion and connect it to the emotion and release it, which is great. The other way is emotion code. I don't know if you've ever read the book of the emotion code, but it's a way actually to transmute that energy, to have access to it. So you can work with someone who's really good at that. There are practitioners who work with the emotional code, and I really love that. I've done it myself. So the practitioner will identify the emotion related to the trigger. So for example, this happened to me. Whenever this happens to me, I feel like I am really stuck on my shoulder. I don't know what's going on. Well, they can identify the emotion, that is connected to that. While identifying that emotion, they can release it from your body. So that's another way. So really find ways to connect to those traumatic experiences or traumatic emotions that you have in the body and try to release them. When you do that, there's more space. More space means you can let more light inside of you. More light in the physical body is actually lifting you up again. You're becoming at a higher vibration again. So you have transmuted darkness into light. So this is a second way to work through this. Last but not least is using your art, your craft, your hobbies. Let's say you're a painter, you're a singer. You know that every time you get yourself to do an activity around something you really enjoy, you really give your whole being to it, you're able to channel that energy. And the greatest artists, they had very traumatic experiences. They've gone through very difficult times. They actually were masters at transmuting darkness into light. And that's what I am suggesting in terms of a third solution. If you do have something like that where you can channel this powerful dark energy, and it's going to give you the opportunity to use it when it comes to your art, but also help others, because others are going to be inspired by you. You don't see it necessarily, but they're going to feel it. They're going to be able to as well transmute darkness into light, thanks to the work you're doing, thanks to the channeling you're doing. I know that many of you are artists here. You could be healers, intuitives. Let me know if it's tarot, for example. In my case, let me know if you're one of my beautiful fellow readers from you. So I hope this was useful. As always, I love for you to let me know how you felt around this video. If this was useful, I love you guys so much, and I'll see you later. Bye.